Well, hello, hello, you gorgeous, gorgeous souls. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Dubois Consulting Group. I'm so glad you're here. Now, I've got three parts to this video. Today is part one. But before I get into that, I do want to share with you, babes, I've got so much to offer you. Come and work with me. And you might be wondering, well, why? Pourquoi? I have gifts and talents that no one else on the planet has. And that is true for every consultant, coach, transformation person, whatever that you will come across. So, yay to the abundance of availability for what you might be looking for. So, what do I have? Well, for one, I know what I'm talking about. I have been through hell and back and then went through it again and have come back from it. So I know what it's like to, how can I say this in pro sports terms? The feelings that an athlete feels when they've been cut from the team, when they've been traded, when they've been injured, all of those feelings. And they're similar to, extremely similar to a number of things that I have been through, even though I'm not a professional athlete, but I can relate to what it's like to have that gut reaction of, oh my God, what do I do now? What do I do now? And the shame and the humiliation that may come with being cut from the team, being traded, there are similarities. Oh my gosh, there are similarities to what you're going through and what I have been through. I can help you out of this. I can help you through it. You know, there's that saying of go around, over, under, going through it is the best way because over, under, around, that's got avoidance in it. But when you go through it, man, you feel everything. And it takes courage to go through this stuff and to feel it. But when you felt it, that's when you can deal with it because your nervous system needs to feel it. It already is feeling it. Now it needs you, the intellectual part of you, your mind, your personality, to recognize it and to feel it and to say, okay, babe, I'm in. Let's do this because I want to elevate. I want to transform. Funnily enough, part one of this is change versus transformation. I want to transform. So I am not sharing this information just because I love the sound of my voice. I'm sharing, okay, there's a little bit of that. I am sharing this because I have, I got moves, I've got information, I've got abilities, capabilities, experience that will benefit you. So connect with me and we'll set something up, especially uh, the coaches, the general managers, the owners of the team. You know what your players are going through, and you yourself are going through stuff. Especially if you've been kicked off of the team, especially if you've been, you were with the Ottawa Senators and now you're with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yay, you. But there's a transition there. There's a culture that you need to adjust to, recalibrate to. I can help you with that. And I most certainly can help these amazing, remarkable athletes. All right, enough of that. Let's get into this. All right, babes. So this is a three-part series, and it's I'm titled it "The Layer Beneath Performance." And this particular one is change versus transformation. So, like I said, I have been doing the work for years. We're shifting a little bit here. I've been doing the work for years. Maybe you have been as well. So I'm talking about the journaling, the framework, the courses, the reprogramming my thoughts, endless books on how to change, how to transform, how to manifest, showing up every single day, doing the things every coach and every author has asked me to do. And I still haven't gotten the transformation I've been chasing. Huh. Sound familiar? Yeah, I know it does. And I'm talking about not change, transformation. Now, if that just landed in your body, stay with me. This one's for you. All right. So let's talk about ice and water and ice. There is a distinction that he's a human behavior specialist or expert, Peter Sage, brilliant fellow from the UK. He uses this, and I find it really, really empowering. It's the difference between change versus transformation. Change is water to ice. It's real. It's a different state, but it can go back, melt the ice, and it's water again. Peter Sage has a terrific documentary titled Rise. And in it, one of the participants, Matthew, so brilliantly said, I changed, but I didn't have transformation. How many of you can relate to that? Hello. Transformation is different. Transformation is, baby, there is no going back. You've become something else permanently. And an easy example of this is for someone who no longer smokes. They have smoked in the past, but they no longer identify with being a smoker or having been a smoker, because within their identity, their transformation, not just change, but transformation, is the fact that they simply don't smoke. Full stop, end of story. Most of what we call personal growth is water becoming ice, becoming water again. So the new habit, after maybe 3 weeks or 6 weeks, it reverts. A new mindset, maybe give it a good month or so, and then it reverts. New year, new you, until February or March rolls around, if you're lucky. Maybe you've stuck with it for that long. Now, here's the part that took me decades to actually see. The reason it reverts isn't that you didn't try hard enough. Heaven knows that is not the reason. It's that you were trying, as in doing, from the same identity that created the problem in the first place. You can't earn your way into being a different person. You can only earn your way into a more tired, exhausted version of the same one. Now, I want to loop this back to the word identity just for a moment. This word has been gaining traction in the performance and coaching world lexicon, and I want to put some clarity around it. Your current identity isn't neutral. It's not just, you doing stuff. It's a whole operating system, a set of beliefs about what's true, what's dangerous, what you're allowed to have, what you have to prove, and what happens if you fail to prove it. Now, that system did not appear randomly. It was built piece by piece, usually stemming within childhood, to solve a real problem. Often survival, safety, or belonging under specific conditions. But here's the rub. The identity that got built to solve that original problem ages ago is often the same identity now generating the problem you're trying to fix as an adult. Oh, honey, have I got examples of this? Okay, so using my own life as the clearest example, the identity that I formed, one of the identities that I formed as a child, was that I had to keep myself safe from certain people. And the way I did that was I had to stay useful, stay vigilant, never be caught not performing. Well, guess what, sugar plums? That is still the identity that's driving my exhausting, compulsive doing all across the board in my life. It's not a different, separate problem. It's the original solution still running, decades after the original threat. So what does that mean? Well, when you try to fix the exhaustion by doing more, yeah, that's going to work. Uh, sorry, when you try to fix the exhaustion by doing more frameworks, more effort, more proving, you're asking the very system that manufactures the exhaustion to also be the one that cures it. But it can't because, dun, 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 it does not experience itself as broken. It does not see itself as the problem. It experiences itself as correct and necessary. Hello, nervous system. That is why effort alone doesn't transform it. You need the underlying belief itself to change, not just its output. So I muddled around with this for quite some time, and I asked myself, and I invite you to ask yourself the same thing. What am I doing when what's actually required is dissolving? I'll say that again. What am I doing when what's actually required is dissolving, the dissolving of? Now, not adding a belief on top of the old one. Nope. Not stacking yet another habit onto an already exhausted system, but rather letting something in the old identity actually die, or better yet said, dissolve. Not managed, not improved, dissolved. Dissolved. That's a different kind of work. It's not inspirational quote sort of work. It's not, oh, 5 new habits type of work. Hell no. It's the kind of work that requires you to stop rehearsing your growth and instead let something real crack you open in its own timeline, not yours. Yeah, I know that there's a sucky part about your timeline versus the actual timeline. I'll get into that later. Okay, now, what do I mean by rehearsing your growth? I had to think about this one. It means pointing at something specific. A lot of what passes for personal growth these days is performing the motions of transformation without the actual internal break happening. For example, journaling the insight without living it. Saying the affirmation without believing it. Oof, guilty. Doing the process the same way each time because it's familiar and feels productive rather than because it's actually still doing anything. It's growth as routine, not growth as event. Rehearsal implies repetition without having some skin in the game, baby, like practicing a script. That's the opposite of the unrehearsed moment, where real transformation tends to happen in situations you didn't fully engineer. Now, here's the part I did not expect. Yeah, there are a lot of those. Oh man, the utter exhaustion, the burnout, the I can't keep spinning my frickin' wheels like this anymore. That comes with the doing and the doing and the doing and the more doing. And oh, maybe this process will work, or maybe this process, squirrel. Maybe a different belief system will finally be my magic pill. All of which are usually treated like the enemy, like proof that you're failing. But you know what? I have come to believe that I don't think of it as proof of failure. Certainly not the enemy. What if, what if this could be a doorway? Yeah. Let that hit a beat for a moment. You see, the old identity runs on a certain amount of effort just to keep itself standing. Vigilance, performance, proving. Then, when you're finally too tired to keep performing it, that exhaustion is sometimes the only crack wide enough for something real to get through. So, my loves, if you're in that place right now, spent, frustrated, exhausted, and wondering why the heck all those years of effort hasn't produced the shift you know is possible, and when you're doing something that you've done for years that did work, and now it's not because, oh, guess what? You're coaching the team, but the players of the team have changed, or you are a new GM of a different team, and the culture is different. And what you did with with the Vancouver Canucks is not going to work with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and so on and so forth. Okay, you get where I'm going with this. Now, babes, you're not behind. I don't think you're behind. You're not behind. I think you might be standing right at the door. Exciting. Okay. I'm going to leave you with this. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like underneath the surface, because that's where I want to go. That's where all the juice is. Sorry. I can go on a tangent about the underneath. Anyway, I'll share with you something that happened with me in real time that I did not see coming. Boy, oh boy, did I not see it coming, but I'm glad it did, because it turns out the identity work everyone talks about, the mind shifts, the words, Danielle, the mindset shifts, the manifestation practices, the vision boards, none of it fully sticks until one crucial thing happens first. Your nervous system, my loves, your nervous system has to believe, has to know the thing you want is actually safe for you to want and to have. Not just think it, know it at a level words simply don't and cannot reach. So what do I mean by that? The nervous system has to believe that the specific thing you want, the success, the visibility, the money, the relationships, the deep rest, the rest every part of you craves is safe to be, do, and have. And here's why that distinction really matters. Your nervous system doesn't hold a general safety rating for you in the abstract. This is not an umbrella. It holds specific situational threat assessments. Safe to rest, unsafe to rest. Safe to be failing, unsafe to be seen failing. Safe to have money without a corporate title to justify it. Unsafe to have money without a corporate title to justify it. Each of those is a separate file, learned separately, often at different points in your life. And that is why someone can do a huge amount of identity work in one area, say feeling worthy as a mother or a professional athlete, and still hit a wall in another area, feeling worthy or financial abundance or national recognition, because the nervous system never gets, it never ever generalizes, I am safe broadly. It has to be shown specifically that this particular thing is safe. I'll show you what that actually looks like with a story most people would never tell on camera. And if that ain't a hook, baby, I don't know what is. All right, pop over to Substack for a fuller version of this. And no, I got nothing else, babes. That is a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And yep, that's it for now. Okay, thanks so much. Cheers. And connect with me. You want to work with me? I got shit you need. I've got help that you can use and utilize to lift you up, to frickin' transform you. Okay, bye. Mwah.